Welcome back to Joda Pro Episode 4. This time we're looking at champion-ranked gameplay from the viewer with the gamer tag Turtles. He's a Halo Draft League player. This is a 4v4 custom 8s lobby, all full of Halo Draft League players, so everybody in the lobby is pretty good at the game. And this time I've shortened the upload length a bit by hand-picking specific moments, some of the best moments that showcase some of the good and bad plays that players make at this higher level. So a lot of great information here to check out. If you guys want to watch the full episode, I've linked the highlighted broadcast below in the description. You can feel free to click that and watch the full episode in its entirety. If you want to watch these live, tune in with me on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm breaking down these plays live. You can join the broadcast. Enjoy, guys. So he gets sniped. He manages to get away with this, which is fine. I like that he backs up there. I mean, he burns an early thrust, but he gets the no-scope and he gets the kill. So, like, right here, the thrust that he does is super dangerous. Like, this thrust, this is like... When you thrust like this, you now have to hit all your shots, right? Because he's like, okay, I'm going to take this fight. I'm not going to leave. So he burns an early thrust, and thankfully he hits his shots. Just understand what you're doing when you do a thrust like this. You better fucking hit those shots. And he backs up. That's a good backup to avoid the melee. Nikolai kind of choked a bit on the melee there. Because I definitely think... Well, I don't know if you had the upper hand, but if you hit that melee, it could have been a trade. From here, you're going to get a nice kill. Right there. So you had like a good job lining up your reticle. You got the kill with the sniper, but I don't agree with everything you do after that. Like, this is a bad play, in my opinion, going into this hall. Meth Bear with the sub. Class is in session. Welcome to class, guys. So the reason why I don't like the fact that he goes into here is because how do you live here? Like, I just think it's not terrible to jump up here and get this kill. This works out. But what bothers me more is just going into this hall. I don't think you should have followed into this hall. I think you should push up on here knowing that your exit strategy, the best exit strategy, is glass. This is a better place to go, right? So the moment that you start receiving fire, instead of going hall, back up behind this generator, back up behind that, and get ready to exit out glass. Because if you exit out glass, you're going to live. You've got way more options to stay alive. If you go to the hall, you're fucked. You can't do much in this hall. Like, I know you're chasing the kill or whatever it is, but you give up the sniper here and you can't stay alive. So I just think, like, if you are going to push that far, then push far with the intention of escaping out glass the moment you start taking shots. That should be your habit, like your easily available exit. Okay, so the next life, you actually play really well. So spawn up in cafe, and I like what you do on this kill here, or on this this life. So you fly up with your teammates, nice shots as you fly by, you take out this kill. You're going to push up on yard, and this is really well played. So you notice there's two players in yard, you immediately back down, and then you're going to try to stay alive here. Now watch how he stays alive. Going up on the banister, this is where you want to be. If you're applying pressure to yard, they push through. You want to get up here nice and quick, but watch this thrust. There's a player that comes up with a combo, jumps forward, thrusts backwards, dodges the combo. That's the best way that you could have thrusted in that situation. Jumping forward kind of gave him the impression that he was going to be in that spot, right? And then you immediately faked him out by thrusting backwards. So I thought that was the best use of thrust. Barbie Boy choked like mad. Barbie Boy hardcore choked, and it's hard to say... Like he probably should have died. I want to say maybe he shouldn't have dropped, but then maybe Barbie Boy would have hit his shots if he didn't drop. Like, it's really hard, like, just in general, because he's so close to death. It's hard to live here. The thrust was smart. Like, this jump forward, thrust back, that was smart. He dodged the plasma pistol. Once he drops here, because, like, I would have thought maybe he should stay here. He's still got high ground. He could apply pressure. But when he drops, Barbie Boy chokes all of his shots. So I don't know if that's what... gets him to choke his shots, but regardless, he stays alive. His intention should be to jump right back up there, but he jumps a millisecond too late, and he bumps his head, which is unfortunate. And then watch how he escapes, which I think is huge. And this is something that a lot of high-level players will do, and it's something that you want to keep in mind, is the moment that a high-level player recognizes that they are not useful in the situation that they're in. Like, in this spot here, he's under pressure. He's weak here. He can't do too much in this situation. The moment he has an opportunity to get out of this, sprint, slide, and you're out, right? And that's what a high-level player will do is, like, they'll recognize, okay, there's a lot of fire in here. My teammate's behind me. Like, I can't really do much from this position. Turn around, sprint, slide, change lanes. Change your vantage point. Yo, Lente, what's up, dude? And then he's going to immediately go up to top yellow, put some nice shots into light rifle. So kind of as you're making this push up to top yellow, your reticle placement, you're considering all of these options, right? When you push up here is that you're ready to fire the shots as you make your way over. You're not just going to like sloppily shoot over to light rifle. And that's what he did. He could put good shots in, pushed up to top yellow. Now he drops too early. You shouldn't have dropped here because now you're taking fire from the the left, right? And even just knowing, as you were jumping to top yellow, you applied pressure over to light rifle, just knowing that player could push through here should not be dropping down. Instead, guys, take advantage of this sign. Step, like, from here, jump to the sign, finish off this player. Your teammate, as you can see with the outlines now, is going to come in. You can work together to get this kill. You don't have to risk your life and get the trade. Though, you get the trade, you get 2 kills, so it's not terrible, but you could have stayed alive in that situation if you didn't drop down. So just, I think patience would have been fine. That player in yard was a one-shot. Could have jumped to the sign over there, shot him from there, and then, you know, work with your team to get the second kill. And then you're going to get 3-shot beatdown. Perfect. Nice shots there. That was quality. That was like everything you need to do. Okay, and then this situation here. This is rough. This is like a classic, like you second guess yourself and you do a double take. Because I can tell it's because you're listening to comms. You're listening to callouts. That's probably what happened. Like the typical reaction, if this is just like solo queue and you're not listening to callouts, the typical reaction is the moment you clamber this, you fire shots into that guy on posters, right? That makes sense. But somebody probably called out that top yellow is one shot. So the only thing I can say here is just like make a decision, be decisive, and follow through decisively, because you kind of look there and then you're like, oh shit, where do I go? What do I do? You could have killed the one shot when you looked over. And now when you look back, he's not there anymore. So just unfortunate. Try to be decisive in these situations. Follow through on one of them, right? So you look left, notice that he's one shot, great. Finish off the one shot. As you're flying here, you're thinking, what's your exit strategy? Make sure that you don't burn your thrust too early as you're flying out here, because you know you're flying into open space. You know you're going to be in trouble when you get shot. So you shouldn't have jumped when you hit the floor. Jumping the instant that he hits the floor is now going to force you into a situation where you have to burn thrust. So when you hit that floor, I don't think you should have jumped immediately. I think you should have focused on your shot and your strafe, knowing that there's a player on posters and landing those shots. And then your gut reaction here should be to get into dip again. Because I think this is your best exit, is to follow into market, go dip if you're in trouble. And you didn't thrust at all. I think you had an opportunity to thrust backwards and get out of that situation. Even if it's like a panic thrust in there, honestly, oh my god, I can't, there. Because then you can kind of go here, and while you're walking backwards with your reticle placed on top yellow, with the awareness that maybe there could be a player challenging from that direction, that's the only angle you have to worry about. And then jumping back into the window and resetting the situation once again is kind of the strategy, I would think. But you didn't thrust, you kind of jumped forward and died for it. So I think just a couple things is like thinking about exit strategy as you jump forward into open space like that, trying to be decisive on one of those kills. So you make an interesting decision, basically, where like swish fives, Kyle's in front of you, your teammates go down, and somebody, like both your teammates are dead, and somebody must call out the fact that there's a one-shot in yard, which you'll see if I bring up the, there he is. There's a one-shot in yard. So judging by listening to callouts, like I'm assuming you're just kind of listening, reacting to callouts. Trying to get good with 100 biddies, thank you. You have, so somebody said he's one shot, and you have Kyle here who you have an opportunity to double up with and push up through to nest. And there's a guy top S4 that you could help Kyle out with if you go this direction. But listening to callouts, you decide to leave Kyle to go for the one shot. Which, is it a terrible play? No, I mean, I get it. But it also means that you miss an opportunity to work with your teammate and, you know, help him out as you kind of push up on the map. Thankfully, Kyle stays alive. Man's good at the game. He's a nuisance down here. He does what he can. He stays down here for a while, and he manages to get pretty far. But you'll push up. Right, going from that guy separates him from his teammate. Yeah, so, but, I mean, if he gets the kill, it's not so bad. Now, you can clearly see without the outline that his shields are recharging behind there. So I think the moment that he sees him, he should try to take advantage of his opportunity to throw a very early, like, quick nade over there and then force Garfinkel's to do something. If he throws a nade at the earliest opportunity, Garfinkel's is forced to challenge or thrust to get away or whatever, and then that might give him an upper hand. If he throws the nade slightly too late, then all he really does is just makes himself vulnerable while he's throwing the nade, and Garfinkel's gets free shots as his shields are coming back. So it's a really tight timing. So I think, like, he should have, the instant kind of falling into this street, he should have maybe thrown a nade, like, right away, the moment he recognized that he was there. That would have been the only opportunity to do it. Even kind of, like, I think, like, maybe even his movement to make the decision to go, like, into yard might have been a little cleaner, because I think he slows himself down with a clamber, like, he could have immediately turn, like this clamber, that kind of like slowed him down. Like if you're going to like collapse on the call out, maybe if he went immediately, maybe it would have been even better. So like maybe if that's the decision you're going to make, commit to it 100%, because now he's here. He missed the window to toss the nade, so now he's got to fire these shots. And this is kind of a tough battle here. This is a tough situation to win. You peek out and you toss a nade, and then you do this Hail Mary jump with the hope that he's just going to be in the range of your reticle and kill him, but you're not prepped for it. And it's hard to say what's right, like the right thing to do in a battle like that. Because yeah, these battles behind, like in this area of the map, are tough. You just got to be quick. You have to have really good reticle placement. You got to have a good shot. You got to be careful. Like maybe you don't want to be the first one to jump, to be honest. But sometimes aggressive plays work out. So like there's no like one objectively correct way to do things. I think if you stayed in this angle, this position where you tossed the nade from, I think this might have been actually a pretty good spot to land the final kill shot. I just think like this jump was too much of a Hail Mary. Like your reticle's not placed. I think what you thought was that he was going to run away. So maybe that's what it was, but it's hard to say. It was just kind of like a Hail Mary jump. You're like, oh, well, hopefully he's there, and then he wasn't. This situation right here, now he knows this player's down here. Without the outlines, you can tell that they're... Okay, so there's one there. You can tell somebody's down there. He's tossing nades, right? That's enough of an indication to know that there's a player down in loop, right? So as he pushes up, the moment you get these nades, I think you should take advantage of the nades that you got and the fact that he doesn't know that you're there, and you should toss a nade right into this hallway before you push up. Because instead, you don't use your nades. You just kind of... You have more health. I guess you just trust reticle placement. You kind of push up, and you trust that you're going to win that fight. Which you do win the fight. But you end up being one shot, barely alive, and then they clean you up with a nade afterwards. If you started that battle by using your nade and tossing it in that loop, you would have cleaned him up so fast. You probably could have pushed through Tram and stayed alive longer. He's just waiting up here. This player's coming down. He starts taking shots from big door. He's forced to go down. I mean... Beautiful, like, adaptation play. Like, his reaction to the situation was freaking... That was the best thing he could have done. So now he's forced to fall. But what does he do when he falls? He doesn't freak out. He stays confident. I like this. This is, like, the traits of a good, like, a high-level player. Is he's still weak. He's got a sticky in the back pocket. Tosses the stick, and then he fakes the shit out of him. He goes behind the wall, and he knows this player is going to chase. The moment he goes behind, thrust backwards, and then I think he melees too, which is like extra. Yeah, like I don't know if he's going to try to get a back smack on a guy with a stick. That won't work. But that execution was like flawless. Like, what am I doing with this theater mode? Like, if he had slightly more health, he would have escaped, and he would have been in the best position to survive after. Because here, like, once you get that kill, he's in the best spot to live. He can go back into loop, he can go glass or whatever. If he thrusts it out this way, anybody else is going to kill him on the map, the guy top yellow. So I just think, like, with the situation that he had at hand, basically, he reacted in the best possible way, ended up getting a trade. There's a couple things that you kind of do wrong here. Remember, guys, you can jump off of, there's like a little ledge on the wall here. You jump off of it, so you just jump forward, jump a second time. You can clamber this sign, and then you jump forward here and you nade, but you thrust early. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's because you're worried about pressure from this direction, which kind of makes sense. And you also thrust what I think is the wrong direction. Like, I don't know about thrusting right here. Maybe thrusting left, landing on the ledge would be better, because now you're in U-turn, and now you're basically fucked. I think this is a perfect opportunity to do the bottom mid to top mid jump. I know you guys know I love that jump, bottom mid to top mid. I know there's a player here. I don't think, like, even if you get up here, I don't think he can get you easily. I think it would be a tough shot for him to land if you're crouching, sitting on this little ledge here. And you also have a guy with sniper who's watching the door. And you may not know that there's a guy with sniper who's watching the door. I just think in general, there's a guy pushing you U-turn, bottom mid here. Get up there. I think it's like, just try to play your life. You can be such a nuisance if you jump up there. But you choose not to, and you know the jump. So you decide to stay. And when you stay, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, they're just going to throw nades at you. The only option you have to get out of there is to jump up and try to be really quick. So I just think if you're going to fall, burn an early thrust, commit yourself, go up top mid right now and escape the situation. Learn the top mid jump. I know he knows the top mid jump. He had an opportunity to get out of there. Somebody threw a nade up from top yellow. Like, you can see it. It's like all little things that you want to be aware of, and I'm sure he's aware of it. As he pushes up here, somebody just threw a nade, so you know there's somebody on top yellow. That's information right there. So as you're pushing up here and you're getting ready to fire these shots, remember that that player could push you. Just, like, that player does push him, just really fucking quickly. Like, watch. He's already getting shot. Now he's one shot. He knows there are players inside the map. It's dangerous for him to drop down into dip here, so he decides to re-challenge. I get this. Like, I mean, if he re-challenged and he got the no-scope, that would have been fine. So, like, I understand why he re-challenged. You try to get an angle on this player on the inside of the map. You get shot in the side. You start taking shots. You decide to walk forward. You still have your thrust. The only thing I could say if you're going to re-challenge this guy is try to be as hard to target as you can. Start jumping before you leave the doorway. So, like, start your jump from, like, here and come at him with a jump and make it hard for him to hit the headshot and give yourself as much time as you can to land a no-scope on his body. That's what I think you would do, because you're one shot. If you just strafe out with the challenge, his reticle's already placed for that strafe. So I think just jump, save your thrust, get ready to thrust, whatever. That'd be, like, the only option. But, I mean, it's, you know, that's what it is. RIP.